Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian. I'm here with Allison, and this is Maintaining Frame number 170. All men love women, women most effective. All women love
No,
women.
all women love women.
All women love women, women most affected.
Women most affected.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll ever find the bottom of this barrel of women most affected.
No.
Women most affected.
Yeah. Women exist, women most affected.
I
mean, we're already at men exist, women most affected, so.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, men exist implies the existence of an other, which implies that women are most infected by the existence of the other that is not men.
Mm-hmm. That's
All
true.
right. Mm-hmm.
So we got the request.
Two.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a couple more requests from Richard. And then also later on, we're going to look at the whole Twitter controversy over the One Ring to rule all the thoughts, all the trad thoughts. And so it's like a full house today on Honey Badger Radio. So yeah, look forward to that. And I'll do the things. If you would like to send us a message, please go to feedthebadger.com/justthetip. The very best way to send us a tip and the very best way for you to send us a message, because we know where it goes and it doesn't go through YouTube's comment labyrinth of delights. So feedthebadger.com/justthetip. And right now I am doing a fundraiser to help Brian out because he had a Cervidae catastrophe recently. And and he's down a bit in terms of the funds. So if you would like to help out Brian, the link should be in the low bar. The URL is a little bit complicated. It is feedthebadger.com/products/close encounters of the Cervidae kind. But it might just be easier to look in the low bar to help Brian out. I need to get like a shortened URL for that, but I haven't put that in place yet. Anyway, we have $420 left as of now. And would be really nice to get that funded so that Brian is, this might affect his ability to attend certain conventions, Badger related events. So it'd be great to get that help fixed for him. It's essentially he hit a deer. If you're wondering
where all these me. A deer hit me.
The deer hit you.
Yes, I didn't hit a deer. I'm serious. We were doing a speed limit. I was looking out. But where it happened, a deer just jumped on top, like basically on top of the car. So
it's just like, I don't want to live anymore. Goodbye, cruel world. Fling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I believe it because we've had close encounters of the deer kind. Not to that degree, but the deer they have a death wish. Those deer, they do, and they're going to bring you into their death wish. And they'll do that no matter what your intentions or desires are. So I believe it. And plus, like, we are, everything in Saskatchewan, or most things in Saskatchewan, we have a wide field of view. We get a lot of advanced warning if anything is coming towards the car. But in Virginia, lots of windy roads and thickets to hide deer who no longer wish to be in this world. Mm-hmm. So I believe it. But anyway, if you want to help Brian out, you want to stop listening to me, just go into the low bar and there'll probably be a link. Hopefully there's a link. If you want to
go to feedthebadger.com, you'll find it. You can just go to feedthebadger.com, right?
And I'm not sure if I made it visible in the catalog request. It's also in the Discord, which is probably the easiest way. Most of you are in the Discord. It's in just general announcements. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. Canada has a moose problem. Night Motorcycle says, yeah, but if you stay away from the moose, where the moose are, moose generally don't come to us. They don't start things, moose. They'll end things, but they don't start things unless you come really close to them. And then, in which case, they figure you started it. So, okay. Speaking of starting things.
Yes, let's get into this queer Kiwi video called All Women Love Women Are Suddenly Gay. So the summary is that queer Kiwi she basically peruses Reddit to get her content.
Good for her.
Yeah. Um, and there's a Reddit called Suddenly Gay. And so she goes there and explores queer humor and accidental revelations. So let's play a bit of the intro. Richard Bier gives us $5 and says at least Rainbow Shite isn't talking about cooter muffins. I guess.
Oh, why do you bring this up again? Okay, no, I know why. For that reaction, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You give him what he wants every time. All right, so let's play it.
Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome to another fun, short video that I enjoy making and I hope you enjoy watching. And today we're doing something that for some reason I've never done before, which is astounding considering how long I've been making content and how much of my content used to revolve around this sort of content. And that is going through the subreddit r/suddenly gay. Now, I have no idea how I've not made a video about this before. I have no idea why I've not made a video about this before, but I had a lot of fun going through the subreddit, and I hope you have a lot of fun looking at what I found with me. So basically,
all right, just that's her like laying out her big idea. So let's jump into when we get into the.
That was a lot of words to say. I found some cancer in our suddenly gay. You could have just,
Yeah.
that was like 5 seconds. I think we just went through 30. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So she thanks her patrons, of which she has a lot, which
A little
says something
disheartening.
about the actual state of people today.
okay, so let's get into some people being suddenly gay. Happy Pride Month to my dad. When I came out as bi to him, this man Googled what it meant, looked at me and said, "Oh yeah, you get that from me. You'd have far more siblings if I only shagged women," and went right back to his work email.
Shagged?
Shag.
It's spelled, I know it's supposed to be shagged, but that's literally spelled shagged. Sorry. Just misspelling.
Wow, is this like Zoomers realizing their parents were people or something? And they actually had a life before they existed? Like their parents had a life before the Zoomers existed? John Bryan's just shaking his. Okay, what is her conclusion from this?
I don't know.
I'm sure I sense that it might be anti-male, but we'll see.
So funny. But also, sir, use protection. Like, that implies that he was also not safe while having sex with men. And sir, you absolutely should have been using protection for both any encounters with men and women. Pregnancy still should not have been so much of an option.
It was a joke?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, and I don't think that he intended that to be taken as a literal confession of his safe sex practices. But, surely this is justified because
there are no jokes. Everything is super serious all the time.
But men
when I want it to be.
I just love this flag because they are creating so many lines and colors and symbols, and what they really want to say is that this is the no men club. And this is the scapegoating men club. So why don't they just have they could just simplify this completely and just have like a male symbol with a.
I don't think they've even figured out that's what it really means yet. I mean, if you debated someone like this, they would say, no, this isn't excluding men. So I don't think they even know. They just like how special it makes them feel.
Yes, of course. Even as they say things like gay men are the straight men of gay people, and black men are the white men of black people, and trans men. Trans women are the trans men of trans people.
Maybe that one's a bit trickier, I think, but I think that's why there's a big split between TERFs and intersectionals.
I just wish they would come out with it, they'd just be like, yeah, everybody but the penis people. We like everybody but the penis people. And we mostly just advocate for these people so that we can be meaner to the penis people. Okay, let's
yeah. All right.
I respect this way of just coming out like
dealing with cat things.
like this. I can only imagine the look on this person's face when he was met with this. Imagine coming out to your dad and you're like, I'm bi. I'm attracted to men and women. I don't care about the gender of the people I date. And your dad just looks at you and go, oh yeah, I used to fuck a lot of men. How do you do you respond to that? You kind of
I thought we were supposed to just be sort of generically supportive of whatever people do. It's like post-sexual liberation.
How do you
I don't
respond to
understand
that?
why this is a problem. You're supposed to just be blanketly supportive, no matter what. I thought.
Well, the complaint is that her father has stolen her thunder, I guess.
Oh, so he basically didn't
Didn't respond.
get a very strong reaction. So she wanted to shock her father with
Yeah,
the news,
probably.
and he was like, "Oh, okay," and
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
I think a lot
Not
of
really.
times people do stuff like that because they're hoping to get a reaction, and then they don't get a reaction because it doesn't like it. We're not at the point where that's shocking anymore, and then they get upset that there's no reaction because that was the whole point, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, it was like on Monday we talked about these people who, or we were talking about scary Skeletor woman, Femtor.
Drama queen, yeah.
John, yeah, I prefer scary Skeletor woman. And
Skeletor is at a whole other level beyond her. But yeah, I
I
guess.
know. Well, okay.
Bizarro Wednesday. I don't know.
Bizarro Wednesday. Okay. Well, Bizarro Wednesday essentially is talking about how people are offended by individuals who go out of their way to do things that are offensive or like out of the norm or shocking. And it's like, well, I mean, for sure, you can do those things, but people are going to be shocked if you intend to shock them. Right? You know, that's what's going to happen. And then they'll do this, and then they'll look at the reactions of people being shocked or offended by the things that they did in order to be shocking and offensive, and they'll say, look at the society that we are in, look at it, it is so wrong, right? But if there is no reaction, look at the society we're in, it is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Well,
just can't win. Don't play.
We're quickly running out of ways for people to stand out. The snowflakes are starting to look the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they are snowflakes, but now they're not as special. And so that's a problem because they can't, like, this is why when we talked about it, I talked about how when I was little, when I was a kid growing up, a tattoo, just one, was like a huge deal because you didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you don't see it, it's kind of a big deal, right? So like this woman, she's trying to put every color of the rainbow in her hair, and like it gets no reaction because it's like, okay, whatever. Like once upon a time, that would have been like shocking, but we're running out of ways for
To be shocked.
we're running out of ways for people who otherwise wouldn't be very interesting to make themselves interesting, because that's usually what it's like, a cover for something that they lack, or at least something they think they lack. In place of a personality, I will apply like crazy hair colors and wild piercings and like new ways to shock and awe people when they look at me on the street, which was like the whole drama queen thing. And another way is to be like, hey guys, I'm like bi, and people are supposed to be like, whoa, that's crazy. But nobody does that now because it's like, okay, so what? That's actually kind of problematic, because being bisexual suggests that there are two genders. So we have a problem here, right? So like you can't like even there's nothing left. There's nothing new under the sun. It's all been done now. So it's time to like, I don't know, like actually like be interesting, like learn a skill, read a book, be able to hold a conversation, and don't just be like, hey dad, I think I like girls too. And then he's like, because it is old hat. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, it might have been controversial when he was liking men, 20 years ago or however long it was. But
yeah,
not
well,
so
that's
much
just it,
anymore.
right? It's like they missed out on that. Like back in the day, maybe that was a big deal, but now it's not. And it's like, oh, well, where's my struggle? Where's my heroic fight?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe you need to start thinking about yourself in terms of your action. There's your heroic fight.
Mm,
Fight against the monsters from your own id.
yeah.
Become a better person instead of just defining yourself by ridiculous categories that you make up in many cases. Okay, let's
All right.
more rainbow individual.
Rainbow shite. Okay.
Just go. Okay, a little bit too much information there, but like that's hilarious. I don't know whether
Why
to,
is
like,
it too
burst
much
out
information?
laughing or just be like,
That is kind of weird because like this is literally are suddenly gay. You'd think that there's probably some sexual content.
Yeah, but
Being that that's the whole art, but it seems to be a problem because of the father, because it's her father. That's why.
why are you having a squeam, Rainbow? Is that some unexamined homophobia? Okay.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be comfortable with my parents telling me about their sexual adventures. I don't want to know that about my parents.
Mhm.
I know they had sex because I'm here, but like I don't want my mom to tell me the story or that she went through a bi phase or something. I think that is a just in general, but maybe because like I'm speaking
Yeah,
for
but she's
myself.
not the daughter, right? This is
No,
just
no, she's
Rainbow.
not. She's a third party. Yeah.
She's a third party saying, "Oh well, it's good that the girl came out as bi, but male
Yeah.
bisexuality. I don't know. That's too much information for me." Ugh.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. Okay.
Well, it's probably because there's
great,
penis
good,
people
okay.
involved.
Glad we had this chat because that's hilarious. That's so funny. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. Happy Pride Month to him indeed. I'm not saying Wanda cheated, but Wanda cheated. And it's Wanda from Fairly Odd Parents. And then that guy that I don't remember, but whom is like her ex and he's like in love with her. I don't remember.
Well, I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
You
neither
go.
do I. It's
So I'm gonna
random
jump ahead
Tumblr
to the next.
Tumblr fan crap.
Yeah.
Is there some good stuff in here? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. I asked an impossible question. Let's let's go through your time codes.
Yeah,
Don't
let me just
delay
get to the
that
time
question.
codes.
Delay that question.
Well, I will. And can I just ask Richard a question? I'm being serious. Okay, when you pick these videos, do you watch them, or do you just pick them because it has people in it that you know that we don't like or that we might have a reaction to? Because I
You
feel
probably didn't
like
answer.
because I feel like when the video is shared, I presume that there's the hope that there's something in it that we're gonna have to that he wants to hear our opinion on. But
Mm-hmm.
just some like terminally online Reddit person saying Reddit things. I don't have anything to add except okay, retard. Like I don't So if you like are suddenly gay and you're just laughing at the content on there, I don't know. I feel like it's like being over some stranger's house and they say, come over here, let me show you some stuff on my computer. And they show you a bunch of boring websites you've never been to because you've never been inclined to go there. And so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's something I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't know what it is, so I'm grasping.
So it's a
That's why
great ennui.
I just want to know if Richard
Does
doesn't
she
mind.
at
Just tell
any
me, is there
point?
something in here that is important?
Okay.
So I don't spend an hour
Does
looking at this video.
does
But
she at any point talk about women becoming gay because of the horribleness of men?
don't I no, I don't think so.
All right, let's just go through your
I
time
mean, there
code.
is a cultural commentary on masculinity section, yeah, but
Yeah.
let's watch this. Okay, and let's just watch this.
This is canon. So sorry, Wanda. I apologize. I'm sorry I had to find out this way. At least once a month, I think about the girl from my high school AP psych class who is like, we shouldn't allow gay people to get married because then all of the girls would want to marry a girl and the population would die out because we would all want to marry girls, right? Cool. I'm so sorry that you had to find out this way, but no, 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 that's not true. This is the thing, right? And I see like lesbians talk about this, in which a lot of lesbians don't realize
Okay,
they're
here we go.
lesbians because culture and idea around like women are so pretty, women are beautiful, all women are great, all women are beautiful, and men are all pigs. And sex with men is boring and bad, and they don't care about us, and we don't like really care about them. We just tolerate them. And I've seen that whole idea that comes from a lot of women makes a lot of lesbians think that the way they feel about men is just how straight women feel about men, which, fair enough. I understand how
Wait
that
a
may
second.
play
Wait a
role.
second. Wait. So all lesbians think men don't care about and they're boring, and I mean you don't have to just regard men as sexually interesting to regard men as human beings that you could have platonic relationships with. Like did you just see what she glossed over there?
Mhm.
Lesbians hate men. Really, all of them? Okay, and I guess I'm the lesbianophobe. Like what?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Lesbian. All okay. We heard it from Rainbow
Well, I mean, I
Shite.
guess if your exposure to lesbians is Reddit, then yeah, they
Mm.
probably do.
Yeah. You're probably right. Okay. Let's. Okay.
All right.
In not realizing that
Bold
you're a
move.
lesbian. And I feel like it really did a number on this girlie here in the similar way of like being like, we all just marry men because we have to, right? That's just like what we were told to do. No one really likes men. We all appreciate how wonderful and beautiful and brilliant women are. Obviously, we can all agree on that. And a lot of straight women do speak like that. So I understand how you may have gotten confused. And I hope.
So women and men were getting together because they were told to. There was no
Right.
other factors at play. Through all of human
Mhm.
history, women were just with men because they were told that you're supposed to do that.
Mhm.
Wow, I feel so lucky to be alive then. I mean, if it
Mhm.
weren't for somebody telling my mom that she was
Yeah.
supposed to have babies with my father, she probably wouldn't have, and then the human race would just be extinct. Gosh, I wonder why there's so much nihilism in the world. I have no
Where is
idea.
she
It's a
going with this?
mystery. I don't know. It's I think it's gonna be like something something queer women are best women or something.
Okay. Well,
She's
let's
figured it
find out.
out. And I hope she's doing well, has come to terms with her sexuality, and has settled down. My girlfriend put makeup on me for Halloween, and
No,
a guy at the
What?
bar
I think I
yelled.
missed something. Did we skip something,
She
or did we
she
talk
just
over her?
said, let me just go back a little bit. No, she just said, I
Yeah, go
hope
back.
that she, figures it out. She just basically left it hanging.
Terms with her sexuality and has settled down.
Oh,
My girlfriend.
because she's ingested all of this anti-male crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to bring this up. I did look at the statistics. Lesbians have the highest rate of divorce, and lesbians and gay couples tend to marry at the same rate, so they do have the highest rate of divorce. Then heterosexual couples, although there's a little bit of a statistical chicanery there, and then gay couples. Maybe it's not men. Just a possibility. Just a
Maybe.
possibility. Okay.
Okay.
Put makeup on me for Halloween, and a guy at the bar yelled at me, "Your makeup looks good as fuck. You killed it." Now I understand how girls feel when someone compliments them. I felt so fucking beautiful. Then he tried to finger me. We've been dating for a few weeks now. She just did her boyfriend's makeup all nice and good, and he felt good about himself. He got a compliment,
That
and
was
then he left her
escalation.
to be with some man that he met at a bar. Ouch.
Did he finger his butt? Like, I mean, what do you mean he
Wow.
fingered me? Like, okay, well,
Maybe he said, "Come over
fingered
here."
his ear? Did he do his ear? Did he get in his
You're
nostril? Like what? Okay, whatever.
some oral
And
stimulation.
by the way, I think you should take this with a grain of
A
salt.
grain of salt. Yeah,
It's like
huge grain of salt.
Reddit stories, like who knows if it's
Truck of
real?
salt. Yeah.
Because like everyone's trying to like you get people, they're writing about their personal experiences and they're sharing information. And when you get people doing that, there's a tendency for people to try to top each other in terms of their stories. And then
Yep.
they end up telling tall tales. So,
Mm-hmm.
fish stories, as it were.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, okay.
Well,
Hmm?
okay, but
Oh,
that
and
sort of
also,
brings it.
what isn't there like an achievement or scoring system in Reddit where you can get like
Yeah, you get
karma
social credit points. Yeah,
and you
karma.
get yeah, it's like social credit and like the the more people like what you say, the more of that you get. So doesn't that
Mhm.
encourage people to like stretch the truth or exaggerate or whatever?
Yes. But I would like to add this, that I've noticed sort of a trend between men and women. And it's not like, I'm not talking about straight men and women, but I guess bisexual men and women. Um, Men who are able to do so will go from women to men, and they'll describe the incredible relief and joy of being with a partner who shares or is willing to have take an interest in their interests, isn't constantly expecting to be the center of attention, isn't constantly expecting to be served and paid for and pampered, and that, you know, there's this whole world that opens up in the relationship for his own needs. And then I will go to the other side, and women dating women. You know, it's like that Bill Burr sketch. I think it was Bill Burr. You know, you don't look, you know, go to a lesbian bar and look at not the new lesbians, the young ones who haven't been, you know, around for, you know, like 5-10 years. Look at the old lesbians, and they look like they've come back from a tour of Nam. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I do
John's
remember the
kidding.
joke.
Yeah, and it's like
Back when
that's
Bill Burr was
was still
somewhat
funny.
based, somewhat
Yeah,
a little bit.
and I see the opposite going with women, and then they go with, like, they'll be like, "Oh, I can't stand men," oh, blah blah blah, and then they'll go and they'll date women, and then after like a year, they'll come out and like, just, I have PTSD. Oh my god, I understand everything that men say about women. I understand that frog meme with women on the bottom.
Well,
You know,
just Nora Vincent is basically
I'm
like
a,
the whole thing summed up.
I am. I regret to inform you, women. And
Okay.
I just wanted to note that difference. Okay.
Yeah. All right,
Oh, and
let's
he
play
said,
some
Bill
more.
Burr said, like, that gay guys are just so happy, like they're just levitating,
Yeah.
you know, too happy. All right,
All right.
let's keep going.
That would hurt a little bit, I think. Being broken up with to for them to date someone they met and got fingered by at a bar.
Probably the
But
first
hey,
compliment he's
happy
ever
for
had in
all
his
the
life.
breakup.
Probably, yeah, probably didn't get compliments like that from even the women around him. But
Nope.
also, I mean, if he was willing to run off like that, he probably wasn't really into you anyways. So you're just
Yeah.
helping him find his true self.
Mm-hmm.
At least, you know? And this
Win.
encounter seemed to help him figure out his sexuality. Whether it's real or not remains uncertain. I'm leaning possibly, probably towards it's not real. However, it is funny, so I'm going to pretend that it
Good for
is.
you.
Right? I don't need people in my comments being like, you always take things too seriously and think that they're real. I don't care. It's more fun to go along with things as though they're real. Nothing is an original experience, right? Like,
So
just because someone is making it up doesn't mean it's a made up scenario. Doesn't mean it's never happened. So even if
good
things are
Lord.
made up,
We
I'm
don't
gonna
need
act as though
one
they're
of it.
real because even if it didn't happen to this person, it most likely has happened to someone else at some point. So
Okay. Let's get into she's gonna talk about masculinity.
Masculinity.
Masculinity. Cultural commentary on masculinity.
if they're not benefiting from their labor. These guys were flirting, so my boyfriend had to step in, and they're holding up a phone that says tits, and then it pans to her boyfriend, and he is nodding and looking at them and undoing his shirt, and then he flashes them, and then they start cheering and being like, "Hell yeah, woo!" But like, joke's on you here. They may have been talking to him in the first place. We don't know. Is this suddenly gay, or were they already gay to begin with? Their sign could have been for both
Or
of them.
bi? Like, what's with the bi erasure, lady? I'm just using the terms.
Right, right. I mean, they
Oh,
could have just been joking around too, though.
yeah, they could have just been
Like
joking
guys
around.
horse around about being gay, you know, just like they call each other gay. Like that's what guys do. It's fun. Of course, we're not allowed to do that anymore because you know, if you're in the UK or something or Canada, you can get thrown in jail. But yeah,
Not
this is
so
the way
bad in
men
Canada
joke with each
as
other.
of yet, but yes.
Well, there's the pronoun thing, title, whatever it's called. Um,
Yeah,
which
I'm
has.
not quite sure it's as bad as it is in the UK. The UK is.
I think it's definitely worse in the UK and Scotland and stuff. But yeah, I mean,
I
it
think
could.
the
Like I was,
influence of the
what
US is a little
ultimately
too
saying
strong.
is that guys can't make jokes about being gay with other men generally because women like this activist types will get their panties in a twist over it. So what I'm saying is that maybe it's just for the sake of the video. All I'm saying is that in this particular scenario, it's entirely possible that no one involved is gay and they're just being funny and he's playing along. And maybe they were trying to get his girlfriend to do it and then he did it and they said, okay, we'll roll with it because, men generally have a better sense of humor than most people. So, just my 2 cents on that one.
Okay. Okay, let's go.
Maybe they didn't care. Either her or him. They don't mind. They reacted strongly to this. They weren't like mad or upset or anything. They were like, hell yeah, tits, let's fucking go. I don't care who they're on as long as I see them. Which I respect. Is it suddenly gay or is it already bisexual? Beta male.
No, that's probably just joke.
So she did include the buys.
Okay.
So she did.
Do you want to go? Alpha male, you're going to have the best night of your life. I'll see you at 9 p.m. Wear that tight red dress. And someone quote tweeted with, I legit had to reread this several times before I realized it wasn't intended to be a conversation between the beta male and the alpha male. Yeah, same. That's how this format usually goes. And it works in this scenario as well. Like, that's so fucking funny. Beta males are like, where do you want to go? And the alpha male is just like, I'm going to take you out. Wear that nice dress. You're gonna have the best night of your life. Like, yeah, this.
Do you get what that was?
No, I do. I get 100%, and she's reinterpreting it as gay. I don't know. This is pretty weak.
Well,
sauce.
a lot of people are reading into it like in their own way. So
yeah, this is weak sauce. This is. I expect more from Rainbow Shite. I don't want to. Okay, yeah, I expect.
Actually,
more
no,
from
I
her.
think her content is pretty like this.
Pretty
She's
bland.
not that contentious. Like, Drama Queen yells at the camera. Manifestel, like, is like a serpent. But this woman is just sort of like, haha, I'm queer. Look at my hair. Ha, this is funny. I was on Reddit today. Here's my friend. Here's my stuffed animals. Like, it's kind of, I don't know.
Inert?
It's like it's inoffensive, but not productive. Like it's just kind of like there. It's just kind of like a wet noodle, in my opinion.
That's a good point. Wet noodle. All right, let's do the
Yeah,
final
it's like
time.
a
Is there more than one more
noodle.
time? Yes.
Yeah, there's
Well, pool noodles still have stiffness when they're wet, though.
well, yeah, I guess so. Then yeah, definitely not. It's a flaccid pool noodle. So
his benefit. Maybe I don't know. I hope she knows, or I hope she doesn't know. Let her not know, because personalized number plates are fucking expensive, and she can just keep driving around innocent and oblivious to what her license plate says. I think
I'm too far
everyone else
ahead.
gets a good giggle out of it, and I think that potentially she get a good laugh.
So not I thought it would be.
Why not?
Richard, you gotta up your game if you want me to cringe. Like,
That's
seriously,
so
this
so funny.
this woman.
I feel like this event was born out of a lie that got out.
He
of
looks
hand.
like a My Little Pony from the 80s.
The luge, is that what it's called?
What?
Her hair looks like a My Little Pony from the 80s.
Yeah. So here's the I think this is like really the last one. I mean,
yeah, okay, let's go for it. Let's do it.
Okay. So there's like two guys doing a luge thing.
I don't know. The one where you're like lying on a sled thing and going down a ramp. And this one there's two people. And so the one at the bottom is lying real stiff straight, and then there's someone on top of him, like directly on top of him, like back to his front, holding on. And the tweet with it is so funny. Like, I feel like this was a lie that got out of hand. Like, yeah, that's so fucking funny. It's like when people go to hospital.
You realize that the humor of this relies on.
It is really funny.
No, but the humor of this relies on the taboo around male sexuality with other men. That's what it relies on. So she's
in order to be
basically,
funny.
in order to be funny. Otherwise, it's just two men doing a sport. You know, a lot of sports require some amount of physical contact between their respective players. But if we didn't have any like stigma over physical contact between men, first of all, sexualizing it, because we sexualize everything that men do. But if we didn't
With
do
other
that,
men,
with other
in
men, but
particular
with
with other men,
children and
yes.
with women and with animals, like you'd not notice like this constant sexualization of men's behavior in every conceivable context,
Mhm.
right? We even excessively sexualize their behavior with, well, I mean, like we'll look at a scenario where a man has like a sex doll, and we will frame him in a particular way, and then we will look at the subjectivity of the sex doll as greater than his. You notice, like, in order to frame him as sexually predatory, right? This is
Well,
this is the insane.
why is right now we have this whole thing in the video game space about Collective Shout, which is this feminist activist organization that is basically trying to get video games banned because they're sexualizing women and girls in video games. And
Yeah.
they use the most extreme examples of games, but they're really going after all of them. And it
Mm-hmm.
comes from the same thing, because men are the ones that primarily play video games, and if they feature women in them, then there is an assumption that there's something
That is,
sexual going on,
yeah,
even
but
if
even so,
yeah.
if there, it's not just the assumption that there's something sexual going on, but that if there's something sexual going on, the man is a predator. So I want to get back to the sex doll example. So you got this lump of silicone in the shape of a woman, and you got a man, and
Mhm,
they'll look at this, like these feminists like this will look at this, and they will create a subjectivity for the doll in order to turn the man into a predator, like a sexual predator. And we do this constantly. We sexualize men. I guess in this scenario, it's two men. So which one's the predator, right? But it's still sexualized. And it's like that's men don't get away from that. They're constantly sexualized in this manner. And it's not the way that women are sexualized. Women are sexualized as in being desirable. Men are sexualized as being not desirable and criminal.
mhm.
And she's just playing into that right there. I mean, I know it's milk toast. She probably doesn't even think that deeply about what she's saying. It's just two men hugging on a sled. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. You know, but if you think about it, that's why would that be funny unless it's breaking a taboo? And what taboo is it breaking when this is an athletic event, right? Like this is just two men achieving a goal. They're physically scrunched together, but it's because of the physics of the situation. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, you could say the same thing about the national sport of Turkey, which is oil wrestling. You know,
Yeah, right, sure, they have
it's
the
not
yeah,
sex,
oil wrestling.
it's not supposed to be gay. Um, I
No,
mean, that's a little
but I
bit
mean,
more of an
we tend to,
yeah.
we tend to, especially today, these days, we tend to see all loves as erotic. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't, there's different loves, right? There's platonic and other kinds, but like these days it seems like almost front and center is always the erotic love. So this is, and particular when it comes to the way that we frame it around men, which is why we see, like you said, men around children as a problem, because we immediately jump to conclusions about that. Or men around other women, obviously, men around inanimate objects, like,
Yeah.
so
And that makes no sense. Like, how
mhm.
can you think that a sex doll has more of a subject? You're actually respecting and honoring the subjectivity of a lump of silicone more than a man. It's insane and sort of gross, by the way. That's why this whole discussion around sex dolls, I just look at it and I'm like, what the hell are you psychos on? because all of the condemnation requires you to believe that the sex doll has some kind of subjectivity greater than the man, and it's ridiculous. All right, but anyway, it actually says a lot about the people who are calling it out. But ultimately, again, the humor of this only rests on this excessive sexualization of men. I wanted to say something about we've been watching, this is another Richard request, No Man's Zone, and we've been watching it with the writers retreat, and it actually was like, I think it was a really good request. I don't know why he just dropped the ball with this one, but the No Man's Zone is really fascinating because it's a Russian series, a sci-fi series, where they examine they do a what if about the creation of an all-female society. Although there are some males in that society who provide the seed for it to continue. But but they're really, really soy. I don't know how else to describe it. But it actually ends up being a real critique of how women do and the things that they engage in. And one of the fascinating things about the second season that we've been watching now, spoilers, guys, is that the main male character and the main female character who are in a relationship now, and she is from this femtopia, and he's from an external society that they term the primates because they dehumanize the men. And she is treating him like a sexual convenience because throughout her entire life, she's only ever had any kind of sexual contact with essentially machines, vibrators. And he's having trouble because the leader of Femtopia, the new leader of Femtopia, has declared like a genocide upon the primates, and he's like freaking out about that. And she's expecting him to continue to service her sexually like a machine, like he doesn't, and he's not able to because, of course, he's under considerable amount of stress about what Femtopia is doing to the people that he came from, and so he's unable to perform sexually, and she's getting more and more pissed off about it because she doesn't understand that he's not a sexual convenience like the things that she's had sexual relationships with up to this point. Like he's a person. And I thought that was really, really on point for what I'm seeing in behavior of women now.
Yeah.
And even like when we finished off that woman, from the New York Times, and how she and her friends mocked a man because he did not want to have sex with them, or he said, well, I'm too anxious, I don't, I can't handle having sex with you, whatever. And they mocked him in public for it because they saw him as a sexual convenience, not a person. And I think that's on the continuum with what I know we're going a deep dive here, guys. We're doing some serious, like, deep dive squirrel action here. But I think that's on a continuum with what she's doing, which is two men, it's sexual. So that's what's funny about it. Right. And it's like, no, it's not. You are actually turning two men engaging in a sport into, you're sexualizing them. Because even though you're a lesbian, I think, apparently you are also infested with the men are a sexual convenience mentality. And men are entirely defined by sex mentality. All right. Anyway, I got it back. We have surfaced. We have surfaced in the squirrel submarine.
All right. So that was the last bit from that video.
Squirrel submarine.
So I guess we'll get to the other one. Please stick to monogamy.
Okay, yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. So, all right.
We all live.
Hey, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. The other day, I was on Twitter, as I usually am, and I came across this tweet that made me giggle. It made me laugh because I agree with it wholeheartedly, and that reads, my absolute favorite brand of Reddit story is men posting things like, I bullied my wife into an open relationship and it turns out she's a very desirable goddess and I'm somewhat of an unfuckable troll. How do I fix my relationship?
Oh, okay, so now we're into the spice. All right.
This is a different video. So Right. So please stick to monogamy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna press
well,
exit
guys,
out on that, but okay, sure.
yeah, let's press exit out. Also, guys, you might, I'm pretty sure men know at this point that opening their relationship is a disaster.
Mhm. I mean,
They,
if
yeah.
if you don't want that, like sometime, like I think that it's well, there's probably no data on this, but I think that generally when you open your relationships, women get more opportunities generally than men. I think that that should
Oh,
be
100%.
yeah, that should be obvious,
100%.
right? So that's why when they say my favorite brand of Reddit story is men posting things like I bullied my wife into an open relationship. First off, shit that doesn't happen. I don't think men bully their wives. Why are you married if you're bullying each other into an open relationship? And it turns out she's a very desirable goddess, and I'm somewhat of an unfuckable troll. How do I fix my relationship? That just I'm sorry, that just doesn't sound like anything that happens. I mean, that doesn't mean it never happens. I'm saying it just doesn't happen as much as these people think. Because generally, women have more opportunities to do that than men, and that has more to do with men's standards than women's. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I honestly have heard more of the stories of a man being unwilling to do it and people sure shaming him, especially in media. I mean, this used to be a thing about polyamory like 25 years ago. They would say stuff like this, and it's like, that brown is just, I think she has like brown on one side. It really doesn't work with the rest of her hair unless that's a blue, in which case she
Well,
needs to
what
brighten it.
on this side over here where it's
Yeah,
darker? I
yeah.
think that is dark, like a deep indigo.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. It's so funny. There's something so funny and so beautiful about these situations. Like, it's horrible, but also absolutely hilarious. And it happens so much, like a ridiculous amount. And it was through this tweet that I learned there's actually an entire subreddit dedicated to that sort of thing exactly, which is called r/open marriage regrets. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God.
No, you know what? Pause for a second. I'm going to take a look. Well, no, we can actually continue. Reddit.com/r open marriage
Regrets.
regrets. Well, I'm guessing that there's very few women who regret that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I'm
What? You found something?
I'm 35M and I'm regretting having an open marriage with my 26F wife. Okay, so edit for fuck's sake, people. This is my real. Okay, here we go. Do you have are you? I think you can just browse Reddit even if you don't have an account. I know that you're
I
a little
don't.
bit baffled by.
I'm leery of
Yeah,
that.
Reddit. Yeah, I know. Reddit is something worthy of being leery of. I'm jealous of how
Sure
easy
that
things are for
I
my
can look
wife.
at it.
I admit that this is the worst thing I ever did and regret it the most. November 2024, I brought up the idea of an open marriage with my wife, and she was 100% against it. I don't understand why, but now I do. For some idea of things, I suggest this to spice things up in our marriage, or so I thought, but I quickly realized that I was wrong, and I could have suggested other things with her and kept our marriage exclusive. Okay. This thing, you know what? I hate to tell you this, but I think this might be fetish material. We don't have kids and I don't plan on it, so we have a lot of time together. How do I fix things with her? I don't want to lose her, and I've learned my lesson or have things end in divorce. Okay, I'm a white male, 6'5" with dark hair, and yet I couldn't do the things she could. One night we were at a jazz club, and at the bar, I was across the room attempting to make her jealous, but she wasn't even paying attention. What the fuck? Really?
What?
Well, just okay. So this guy is attempting to make his wife jealous. I was attempting to make her jealous, but she wasn't even paying attention to me as I watched I seen at least sick, at least 8 men walk up to her and try to buy her a drink, and she refused all of them. And when we got home, I was embarrassed and upset. I asked her if we could end the open marriage thing, and she agreed and told me, now you know that you're not the only man who desires me. And that made me melt at her feet. Now I worship her entire existence. Okay, friends, this is fetish material.
Probably.
These people are taking fetish material seriously. Right? Okay, let's see the second one. I proposed open marriage, but I regret it. Oh, too long, don't read. I don't like that my husband's going out with 18 to 21 age skinny girls exclusively since we opened the relationship. So we, female 37, male 40, men in college, who've always been very much in the same wavelength. Okay. He's very athletic, always has been, periodically spends. Okay. He also has a much higher sex drive than I do, and he likes to be very rough in bed. That wasn't a problem until recently, but I started having trouble keeping up, getting kinks in my neck and spine, and generally feeling like I've been run over after every session with him. That's the reason I proposed opening the relationship, to get some outside help so he leaves me alone. Wow. So he leaves me alone. Now I don't know if it's me being insecure, but I regret it because he's been going out with very young women. I mean, 18 to 21, and consistently very skinny. He never makes comments about my body besides nudging me to work out with him. But I've never been skinny, and I can't help but imagine him with them whenever he doesn't come home with me. It gives me a feeling of disgust that he's going after such young girls. I think it makes me look at him differently. My niece is 17 now, and I have to worry about him being attracted to her. This is mostly a vent. My feelings come from insecurity about being old and used up, and I don't know if he'll want to back out of the open marriage now. This is not a real post. Okay, yes. Do you realize that the 35M is probably not a real post either? Let's see.
I got one.
No,
This is actually on our open marriage regret.
Yeah.
After years of swinging with couples and my husband watching me with single men, I had my first consensual solo experience, and I don't know if our marriage will recover. So she does it once, she's turned out. I'm not going to read anymore. I think that this basically frames it.
Okay, so this is, first of all, this is cherry picking because there's apparently women who also regret. Second of all, I think a lot of this is fetish material, so tread carefully if you treat it seriously. But no, let's continue with Rainbow Shite's addition to the swamp. It feels sort of like she's just spitting into the swamp, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, she's cherry picking this, like you said, like the stuff that she wants to talk about. So let's jump ahead to the conflict between monogamy, or do you want to like listen to more of this?
Let's finish this. Rambles. Okay, you know what? I think we got a taste of our open marriage. Let's get her opinion.
All right.
Here we are. We are going to take a dive into r/open marriage regrets, which is exactly as it sounds, where
Wait, you want me to just jump ahead to where she sort of gives a
jump
conclusion?
ahead to where she gives a conclusion. I know that's somewhat difficult for her, but hopefully there is a conclusion in this 47 minutes.
cheated on him and then insisted on having an open marriage when I got caught. So now I can't even go to my family's house because my dad is mad at me and won't hear me out. Pretty sure he told some of our common friends the same thing because they won't answer my texts. I was able to move into an apartment and now I'm just waiting for things to calm down with my family and for the divorce to be finalized. Oh, and I could lose my job soon because someone left some serious bad reviews on the website and now I'm being investigated. So I've been home.
Oh,
I have no one to talk to.
Okay, wait. What's the beginning of this particular anecdote? I feel like we've missed some context, friends. We just dove into the third act. Okay.
Use our heads and think about what an open marriage is and what it looks like. Husband wanted an open marriage and is now mad at me for seeing someone, plus update and ongoing issue. We, female 22, male 25, have been married for 2 years and together for almost 6. Yet, beginning of last year, he told me he has room in his heart for more than one woman and is a man for more than one partner. He wanted an open marriage. It was so hard for me to agree, but the minute I did, he started seeing this beautiful, attractive girl. I can't even explain how painful it was to know that I'm not enough for him, that he's spending time with someone else. And he did. From spending nights with her to texting her.
I just want to point out something. Remember what we watched with the one woman who was like, I want to open the relationship so I can get rid of him, so I don't have to deal with him. And I like how this man is like framing it in a more positive way, like, oh, I have room in my heart for more than one woman. I don't know why people do this to themselves, but whatever. So I'm just wanted to note that it's like the framing is completely different, but yeah, that might just be like individual variation. It might just be coincidence. Okay.
All right.
Was supposed to be spending time together. I'd literally cry myself to sleep every night while he was with her or home after hanging out with her. I even met someone, but I just couldn't open up to that guy because of how much I love my husband. I finally gave in a few months ago. I started letting the new guy take me on dates to his place, etc. He's been so good to me, and that's all I needed after feeling like I'm not enough for my husband. I feel attractive and worthy again. This is it's the same thing, right? It's fucking so sad that these open marriages so often start with these men being like, please, 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 and like guilt tripping or coercing their partners into agreeing. Because you're in you love someone.
I think that's reading into it quite a bit. He just said I had room in my heart for more than one woman. You could have said, well, go find her.
Yeah, like you can put your foot down.
Yeah.
But like if you don't want that, because I've been with girls that are like, oh, I think I want to see other people, but like I want to see you too. And I'd just be like, nope, that's not for me. And that was it. It was over. So you just just say what you want, and that's it. Like you don't want to be, well, if you, I don't know. I don't think that open relationships are generally good. And especially for men, it's just like you're just spending twice as much money or more if you're like seeing more women. So, I don't see like
the gaming time
even from the most practical way. What?
I said, think of all the time you could be spend gaming instead.
Or just like sleeping. I don't know. Like, I mean,
walking the dog, anything else but this, dealing with another person's bullshit. Like, that's the thing.
But
like,
I don't
no
know.
matter what, when you invite another person into your life, you invite another person's baggage and bullshit. Like, it just doesn't, it is inevitable. But I wanted to zero in on her baggage and bullshit. That guy didn't sound like he pressured her. He's just like, wow, this is who I am. How can you judge? It's kink shaming, right? And she went along with it, apparently. There's no indication that he pressured her. He just asked. And like you said, like Brian said, he could have been just, it's not for me, goodbye. Or it's not for me. If you want to continue this relationship, you're going to drop that. Right. But anyway, let's find out what happens now that she's got herself a partner. And side piece.
Want to lose these men. They love them. They have a life with them. They, want to keep being in their lives and having this relationship. So a lot of the time they are going to, make these compromises and be like, okay, I guess I will because I don't want to lose you.
That's the same with men.
They spend time miserable because they've had to pick between, that or just like not having him at all. And that's like such a difficult and hard thing. And it makes me so sad that these women are in this position, and they obviously, lack a bit of self-worth in the sense that like they deserve better than that. And there are people who, will be monogamous with them. I
don't think it's a matter of better. It's a matter of like knowing what you want. I mean, I don't know. They're adults, you make a choice.
Yeah, you make a choice. And they made a choice. And the other thing is that how does this not also apply to men who have partners, female partners who want to open the relationship? It's the same thing, except the men have the full force of the state. Because, we don't have no fault divorce. We have man at fault divorce. Plus all of the discrimination against men when it comes to family courts and domestic violence and sexual assault law. There's a lot of stuff. Like, men are behind the 8 ball in a bigger way than women are. So, and nobody wants to talk about that except us. Okay, let's keep going.
All right.
You are not someone who wants to be in a polyamorous relationship. You do not have to be. Like, there is nothing wrong with polyamory if that is something that is going to work for you. I have nothing against polyamory. I've made a whole video about polyamory. If you want more of my thoughts on that, you can go check that out. But like, it is not for everyone. And if someone you're in a relationship with wants to open the marriage, you do not have to say yes. If that is something that makes you
I'm pretty sure you know
uncomfortable and
that.
they're making you feel like you have to do it or they're going to leave you, just leave. If that's not for you.
It's not a very good example of coercion. I have room in my heart for more than one woman. Okay, that's not really a good example of coercion. It's not.
No.
Right? So
No,
I can't
I mean, you
trust
literally
that
just have two people that have different ideas on what a relationship looks like. And
Mhm.
one of them did not do the work on themselves to figure out if that's what they really wanted. And so they regret it. And now they're the victim of their own naivete.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, let's keep going.
It never ends well. If one of you isn't into it, it never ends well. You may as well save yourself the heartbreak by leaving before it happens. If they don't take no as an answer, it's over, right? They should always accept a no. Last month, a new guy took me out of town for my birthday weekend. A happy birthday text is all I got from my husband. Since that, it's like my husband suddenly realized that we're married. He wants to spend time together, gets jealous when I'm not home, and now he's saying he wants a baby, which I'm not against, but would like to wait until our relationship is a bit more stable. Well, he disagrees. He thinks that I'm prioritizing my boyfriend over our relationship and family, and that's not what an open marriage is about. He's now wanting to stop everything and go back to being monogamous. I'm not ready for that. He got to decide when this started. Why does he get to decide when it ends? Why did he wait until I started being happy again? Because he's possessive. That's why. He'd want to keep it going forever if you were keeping to yourself and not sleeping with anyone else, right?
Yeah, it sounds like she found herself a narcissist, but let's keep going, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe.
There are
Or,
narcissists.
yeah, well, wouldn't they also probably be the same kind of people that be interested in open relationships or polyamory?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. That's why you don't want to get into this. Like in my opinion, you know, most of the people involved in this are going to be on the cluster B spectrum, and they're going to be involved because they can't handle an actual intimate relationship. So I mean, go into this community at your peril. And yeah, men don't. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter how much you think you want variety. No. Okay.
Yeah,
Just don't.
it's really not that. It's not really that big of a deal.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
these men don't care. These men will want the relationship to be open for as long as they possibly can, as long as their wives are staying loyal only to them. As soon as you're sleeping with other people, they don't want a bar of it because they are possessive and they view their wives as
Yeah, but what about the cucks in the cuck chair?
their property.
Like,
He
Um,
what about the men who
I
fetishize this?
I think that there's also the possibility that this guy made him realize that he didn't want,
He made a
like
mistake. Yeah.
that he made a mistake and doesn't want an open relationship, and he does want this woman to be, he wants to be monogamous. I don't know if that was put forward, uh, and maybe she didn't include that in her thing, or if Kiwi's leaving it out or whatever, but that's not manipulative to basically be like, you know what, I thought I wanted this, but I don't want this. You know, that's sort of like
Mm.
growing up, I guess. It's like your preferences change over time. So I would not call it possessive. I think that's a bit of a unfair characterization.
Mhm.
Like if he specifically is saying, well, I should be able to sleep around and you shouldn't, then you still have an option. It's called walking away if you don't like that.
Mhm.
But most likely, maybe there should be a conversation about monogamy.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah.
I know it's very boring and vanilla and not cool, but maybe it works. Like, I don't
Cool.
know. I know I don't want to be a stick in the mud saying, maybe you should just stay with one person, but I feel like one person's plenty of work already.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, you yourself, like as an individual, I think it's a lot of work,
yeah.
right? It's and monogamy is the best place to do that work unless you're in a convent or a monastery, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it I think that the people who truly can handle polyamory wouldn't do it. They would
Mhm.
have no need to do it at
Well,
all.
yeah, I mean, you have to ask, like, what is the other than just to, like, what? Just to be, like, constantly stimulated? I feel like I don't know, man. I think that there's
There's
more to life than that. And I've been
yeah, there's
around. But yeah, I mean, I'm done. I'm way done with that. That's all behind me.
mhm,
So,
and you're right, it could be a situation where he's now second guessing what's going on, because it sounds like she did indeed
well, he wants
pursue.
a baby. Like he's not gonna. I mean, I would hope that he's not so like low IQ that he would be like, I'm gonna bring a baby in the world and still be, sleeping with other women. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know, but, I don't think this relationship is long for the world for this world, because
No.
she has contempt, if she can't forgive him for opening the relationship and then regretting it, uh, and, I mean, where's the other girl that he's with now? I mean, it's complete, condensed coincidentally, completely unmentioned, but that would be important
Mm-hmm.
to has he's broke it off with her? That's an important detail not mentioned. Okay, let's
Yeah.
keep going.
All right.
Presumably, if she's asking for monogamy, he broke it off with the other girl.
Yeah.
So,
Doesn't
let's
care
keep
that you're
going.
happy. He cares that other men perceive you and get to touch you, and he
Okay,
doesn't
that's
like that.
bullshit.
Well, I was going to
Rainbow
wait.
Shade, you don't understand men at all. Stop talking about them. First of all, let's take this
It's
on
funny
face
because it's
value.
like only men do that. Women aren't like that. Women can be possessive too, incredibly. Like it's not a unique male trait. Even if you were telling the truth about that, it's not a male thing. So the way you're painting this picture is like, you know, disingenuous.
Okay, so let's keep going.
All right.
Till this weekend to have a talk with my husband about getting a divorce. I wanted to think about things before ending this 6-year relationship. I still took my distance, stopped having sex and hanging out with him. I barely talked to him since my last post and refused his gifts. So guess what he did yesterday? Went to New Guy's office and tried to fight him, yelling and screaming about how New Guy sleeps with married women and should be ashamed of himself, making it seem like New Guy was helping me cheat on my husband, which is not the case because it's open marriage. New Guy is the
Okay, yeah.
narcissist. He said he
You
wanted.
guys, you got a narcissist. This is narc behavior. You got yourself a narcissist. This is not the behavior of all men. Rainbow Bright. It's not the behavior, or it's not the behavior of all men. 100% not the behavior of all men. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Be with me, but doesn't want to have to deal with a crazy husband slash soon to be ex. He wants to take a break until I get things figured out with my husband. How am I supposed to do that though? Still planning on getting a divorce, but I can't control my husband. Could this be his way of dumping me? We get another update. We got the divorce process started. Right before that though, my ex-husband was able to meet with my dad, who's always liked him, and told him how I cheated on him, and then insisted on having an open marriage when I got caught. So now I can't even go to my family's house because my dad is mad at me and won't hear me out. Pretty sure he told some of our common friends the same thing because they won't answer my texts. I was able to move into an apartment and now I'm just waiting for things to calm down with my family and for the divorce to be finalized. Oh, and I could lose my job soon because someone left some serious bad reviews on the website and now I'm being investigated.
Wait, what? Yeah, but how does that relate to this?
He's trying to
Like, were you?
suggest that maybe her ex-husband is like posting, like trying to
Oh,
tarnish her character or something, I think.
okay.
Because it's like a random thing to add. Or, it's a pity party. And look, all the bad things are happening to me all at once. Oh no, it's the consequences of my actions. Again,
Well, I mean,
you're the
even if it
one.
isn't, even if she has found a narcissist or a sociopath, that is not all men. And the
Of course
instant
not.
you try to make this all men, Rainbow Bright, you are a bigot. This is a subset of men and the behavior of a subset of men. They exist, but they are not all men.
Well, the question though is this the kind of man that this woman is attracted to? Because if it is, then maybe this other guy is also going to be a problem because these are the men, you know what I mean? Like he could be one of these dark triad men that women find so manly and attractive. And then,
Yes.
she manages to basically like make it to where he wants to stay, but she's also seeing other men and she's going to go out with other men who she also finds attractive. Like she has a type. So what if this other guy is also that type? So like she's not out of the woods yet because she hasn't figured out like what it
Yes,
is that
that
she
she's
should be
finding
looking for in
attractive in
men.
these
She's
cycles.
not she's not looking at
And
their
Rainbow Bright telling us all, oh, this is just men, is not going to help her.
no.
It's not. All right. This is not all men. And I noticed that this dude has not sicked institutions after her yet because he can't, because he's a man. And this is where we'd come in, because if this was a man with a narcissist ex-wife, she would be sicking the institutions on him. All right, let's keep going.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I've been home this whole week. I have no one to talk to unless I decide to finally answer my husband's text. Even you guy hasn't been talking to me. So yeah, that's how my life's going. Any advice on how to deal with the loneliness? Bro, this makes me so frustrated. Like, men really do have nothing but the audacity. Starting a relationship.
No. No, Rainbow Bright. It is not men. Okay.
Mm. Well, it's the men that they see.
After having to like guilt someone into opening it in the first place, then getting mad when they start acting on that open relationship to the point where you then go and like ruin their life is so fucked up. You fucking started it, bro. This was your idea. Think about it. If you want an open marriage, think about what that means. Oh my god, men are horrible. They're fucking so horrible. Like, the fact he even went to her
What
dad
the
and
fuck?
turned her family.
Did your
What?
camera freeze? Oh.
No, I froze. Once again, that flag means everybody but men. Everybody but men, and we are going to scapegoat the crap out of men. We are going to frame the behavior of a tiny subset of men as all men, right? Who are you without your hatred of men and your scapegoating of men and your condemnation of men? Who are you?
Yep.
All right.
Family against her. That's so fucked. The fact her dad won't hear her out is also fucked up. Basically, fuck all the men in this story. Oh my god. The problem with so many of the relationships that exist in these stories is that it's non-monogamy practiced by people who are monogamous. Does that make sense, right? Like, most of them aren't really actually trying to have like healthy non-monogamous relationships. It's largely just men who want to sleep with people and don't give a fuck about their wives.
Cherry pick.
And so this is where
Cherry picked. Well, it's
Well,
cherry
yeah.
picked.
They're obviously cherry picked. Yeah. But also, like, what if monogamy was encouraged because it was safest for men and women? And that trying to explore these other options invite a certain kind of person that wants to take advantage of that. So yeah, you may have a problem with with the men in your story, but maybe those men are, because what we're saying is a subset of men, right? Maybe they're the kind of people that would take advantage of that and create the conditions that basically suggest that your version of polyamory is actually unhealthy because it invites people like this into your life. And maybe if you weren't, another thing too is that this woman, when you get involved in any relationship, only one works, right? All the people that you date in your life, only one works, if that. So this is just a relationship going sour. Guess what? You got to get up and dust yourselves off and get back out there, or don't. But like you can't just wallow in self-pity and blame half the human race for your poor choices.
Okay, so between the ages of 18 to 21, women cheat more. And between the ages
Sure.
of 30 to 39, men cheat more. Women in their 60s report having a higher rate of infidelity.
You like cheating on their,
Okay,
oh yeah, sure.
yeah. Although the women also in their 60s have their highest rate of infidelity, but then that's probably because, but apparently, let's see. Women are more likely to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really doubt that those statistics. Let's attach women up
What
to a
if
polygraph.
what if most people who say they're interested in getting into an open relationships or open marriages or whatever are actually just one of two things. Either they're just men that are looking to spread their seed as much as possible, and this is just a way to do that while still having a marriage, which, by the way, if men want an advantage in the dating world, being married is a big plus. Like wearing a ring, that's basically catnip for a lot of women. So it would like there are some a kind of man who would want to be in an open relationship because he's looking to essentially have sex with as many different women as possible, and that's it. So he's not really in it because he's interested in treating everybody in that equally, but just because he wants to like play the field still while still having someone that he can come home to, which sounds selfish and all, but I'm saying like if open relationships and open marriages exist, there's probably a decent subset of people that are doing that have that mindset. And in the women's side, it's hypergamy. Like they're with a guy and then they're seeing other guys, and then maybe they'll change their mind about polyamory when they find the right guy that they can like level up to, right? So you got so this I think this is why younger women cheat more, because there's more opportunities for vertical like and advancement in like relationships. You see find a guy who's got more older, more mature, higher status, whatever, so I'm just going to cheat with him because I'm like 18, I don't know shit. And then the men who cheat more often when they're in their 30s, it's basically the whole like, oh shit, I'm running out of time here, let me like see get some more action. Plus men that age are generally more attractive because they have more resources, they've had time to build up some status, and so they can be more attractive to younger women. So just throwing it out there, again, not making generalizations about a whole gender, I'm talking about the subset of people that are most interested or would be more inclined towards being open to these kinds of like polyamorous relationships, right? How would they benefit? I think women do it through hypergamy and men through spreading their seed. So
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's finish this off.
yeah, there's only a little bit left, but
we end up. Like polyamory can be such a good and healthy relationship system and relationship style, and it works really well for so many people.
I don't think so. I think that there's cope here. I think that most of the time they either end in disaster or they end in monogamy. That's usually how I think it goes. So you do
Monogamy with
it for a little
yeah.
while. Usually, if anything, it just ends up becoming monogamous. They just, oh, you know what? I think I just want to stay with you, and that's it. Or ends in disaster. There was a story of a polycule. I remember this on the news a while back. I'm sorry, I don't remember the names of anybody involved, but there was a video. I think they did like a spot on like some news show, and it was like a woman with like three dudes, and the woman was pregnant with one of the babies, a baby by one of the men. And they were on there talking about how great it was that they were in this polycule and they were all friends and everything. And then, like, I think at some point, one of the men killed that woman's baby because it was from another dude. And it was a disaster. And they were all like, but like I remember that. And
They
I was
were
like,
all
well,
sort of questionable.
They were they weren't that attractive. They were pretty like, they were like goblins, like all of them. But like goblins, they need a society too, so it's okay. But when that ended that way, you know, I wasn't all that surprised. Like I found out one of the guys killed this woman's baby. And
Mhm.
yeah, it was like, well, yeah, it wasn't his. He thought it was.
Well, but
I think he thought it was, and it turned out not to be. So
well, okay, but here's the other thing. Like the individuals were, I mean, what kind of dude is going to be part of a polycule with 3 other men? You know, there's going to
well,
be
there was
issues.
yeah,
Like
I think
I
there's
always see this. Like I always see this with
no,
people who do this.
I know. It's what I'm
It's
saying. Like
always
this wouldn't.
implodes. Someone is
Yeah.
always a psycho.
Right. Well, yeah, probably a couple of them. That's why I'm saying, like, when
Yes.
she says it's perfectly healthy, this is cope because I'm telling you, okay, I'm not going to say it can't happen, but I think it's very, very few people could manage it. And most of the time, probably 99% of the time, these things end in either monogamy, which is probably the most common way it goes. Like, well, or or maybe like an opportunity to do it didn't even come up unless you're like part of the like the Hollywood elite Moloch cult where they probably do share, each other's like partners, or it just ends in a disaster. Like it just doesn't like a big crash out breakup where, and I think that we can look at that and say, maybe this doesn't always work. Maybe it mostly doesn't work. Maybe that's not the normal state of people, and it's an outlier. And I think that people like this, they want to treat every choice, every lifestyle, every identity as equal. Like, oh, it's all good, it's all fine, right? And I don't think that's kind of a false bill of goods to sell people.
Yeah. Well, it definitely is. Like, honestly, I don't even. When I look at for example, the polygamous like Mormon communities, like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that they do is also, and that's probably the most stable arrangement. And
Are you
yet
talking
they
about
still
where
have to,
it's like multiple wives?
yeah, multiple the sister wives. But then they also have to do things like they kick their sons out of the community. Any surplus sons are basically
Mm-hmm.
dumped on the side of the road. And then the other thing is, I'm listening to the
Yeah,
women talk
Mormons
about
are a
this.
cult, basically. I mean, it's like
Well, not all Mormons. Not all
no, but I
Mormons.
mean, there's that. Well, they're definitely
The
not.
polygamous Mormons. But I'm
Yeah.
listening to this and I'm listening to the women talk about this. And they talk about all the benefits of having the sister wives and sharing things and how, they're okay with it. And one woman was like, well, I was fine with sharing him because I never fell in love. And it's like, wow, okay, so everything's a business proposition. But here's the other problem. How much, and they were talking about how the wives have to get used to the fact that they're time sharing a man, right? And so they don't get as much time as they want. And I'm thinking, I don't give a crap about the adult
Mm-hmm.
women in this scenario. What about his kids? Right? How can these kids possibly have enough fathering to become emotionally and morally independent adults?
Yeah.
And the answer is they don't. They don't have enough one-on-one father time to develop normal levels of emotional and spiritual and social independence. That's why these cults continue, because they can replace what a father would give these children with the cult behavior of the community, the inculcation into the cult. And it's like,
Yeah.
and the thing is that they will target the men who are on the top of these cults. And what will happen is they'll get rid of them and the women will find a new dude, because this is driven by the women. And it's driven by incredible selfishness in the women. They didn't even, none of them even said, they were like, oh yeah, sometimes we have to, timeshare a man, which means we get a little less of him than, we would, whatever. Right. Never occurred to them. What about your children? What are your children getting? And
Yeah.
it was like listening to them, it was just despicable. And of course they don't care about their children. I mean, some of them eventually left, because some of the women left, or at least one left, because she, her children were going to be taken from her and trafficked around the community, and she didn't want to see that. She'd only noticed at that point. She only noticed that the children are a commodity at that point. Not when, no doubt, her community was kicking out her sons or her neighbor's sons or her sister wives' sons. Only when her daughters were going to be trafficked somewhere was, this community treats my children like commodities. You just suddenly noticed that. You didn't notice it when your kid gets like 10 minutes with his father every 2 months? Like, oh shit, that seems a little bit detrimental to the growth of my child. And I'm listening to these people justify their bullshit. And it's astounding. And it continues because nobody hammers the women. Nobody looks at the women in these Mormon communities and say, you are selfish baby mamas. You are no different than the ghetto. No different in your actual concern for your children than a bunch of baby mamas in a ghetto. Oh God. Okay. Now, polyamory is one thing. And that is the most, like, the polygyny of Mormon communities is probably the most stable form of any of this. And it's like, there's a reason why monogamous societies are the ones that generally achieve more. Because we're not just don't even go there. Just like make sure the kids have enough father time and you get much better output, let's say.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get off my podium here about this.
Well, that was basically the end. So
okay, all right.
We got another thing to do, so we should
I'm not going to defend this guy. He sounds like a certified psychopath or a narcissist, but he does not represent all men. And that is a problem, that she's basically saying, oh, this guy's all men. No, he doesn't even represent all men legally, right? Because you could say that women's powers in a relationship granted to them by the legal system means all women are like that. It's not that all women will use those powers detrimentally. It's that all women have them. And men, there's no way that a man can not be in a relationship with a woman who's empowered by the legal system, by feminist nonsense when it comes to domestic violence and sexual assault. There's no way. Like, I recently had this discussion with Grok, and I found out that feminists, after the mandatory arrest laws came in that they demanded, the mandatory arrest laws came in and the arrests of women shot up like 1,400%, because police were forced to now arrest the female abusers that they used to let off. So they started arresting them. And then the feminists were like, no, wait, what? And instead of going back to the statistics and saying, well, maybe the conflict statistics tables were accurate and were genuinely reflecting reality, they noped out of all of it, like all of the statistics that said that men and women are equally violent. They said, no, this isn't confirmation of that. No, this is confirmation that the police are biased against women. So they instituted all kinds of policies and oversights, and it was based on this study that found only 12% of women were falsely accused. Whereas studies have been looking into the situation for men. And for example, a man who is abused is more likely to go to jail based on a false accusation by his abuser than she is. So men are horribly biased against. Male victims of domestic violence are horribly biased against in the system initially, and further biased against by feminist policy. And it's like, this is something that men cannot get away from. They can't say, well, you know what? I just won't date a female narcissist. Well, unfortunately, no matter what woman you date, she's still going to have the same powers, the same legal empowerment. So that is a very different than what she's doing. She's saying all men are like this, right? They're not. And that is an incredibly nasty thing to say about men. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's go into.
All right, so we're gonna be taking an intermission if you're watching this on the horizontal stream, this stream is not going away. I'm just gonna be taking an intermission while we set up for the next half of the show or part of the show. If you're watching on the vertical, this stream is going to end. So if you're watching on mobile and you're looking at a vertical layout, this stream is going to end, but there will be another one, a new one starting up in a little while.
Before we do that, I just want to remind everyone we are doing, this small. It's a small fundraiser. There's only 420 buckaroos left, and we'd really like to get it done by Sunday because I have other stuff.
It's basically because I had to pay for a rental temporarily while my car is being worked on. It is insured, so it's not like I was, irresponsible in that way. But I'm a very defensive driver, so I didn't get like the rental because it was going to raise my insurance more. So I have to pay for the rental, which I'm currently driving. It's a temporary car while I'm waiting for my car to be fixed, which needs the whole front replaced because of the freaking deer. So I'm just letting you know that's what it's covering. So, and that way, because it could take them a while, I'm probably going to have to drive the rental to go to Hannah's meetup next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. But I will be there with Lindsay, not Jojo, because we can't bring him. We're going to be in a mall, so we've got a sitter to watch him. And then I'm pretty sure I'll have my car back well before the next meetup, so I'll be able to drive it to Canada. So
okay, but that's the situation that we're dealing with. I have put a link into the horizontal chat. Please, if you are inclined to help him out, go to that link, feedthebadger.com/projects, or no, feedthebadger.com/product/close encounters of the cervid kind with dashes in between them. And again, the link is in the horizontal stream chat. It's also in the low bar. So maybe take this this intermission as an opportunity to go there, because I know you don't want to leave because we're so engaging in our discourse. But take it as an opportunity to go and help out.
Same goes for you guys on Rumble. Stick around. This stream is not over. So
no, it's not nearly over. We have more thoughtery to engage with, more thoughtery to nullify. And if you're on the horizontal chat, we are just if you're on the vertical chat, get over to the horizontal. All right.
Yeah, get over there. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go into intermission now, and I'll see you guys in a little while.
Ahem! 9 things that really do make you a better feminist than everybody else. By Megan Murphy. Published September the 11th. Number 1. Being a woman. You can be a very powerful ally to feminists, even if you are male, but you're never fully going to get the female experience, because women are the group of humans who are oppressed under patriarchy as a class, and men are the dominant group of humans in that system. Women are the ones who must lead the movement towards their own liberation. Being a woman is central to being a feminist, because feminism is a movement that is by and for women. While men are also impacted negatively by patriarchy, masculinity sucks too. In the end, it is men who have always benefited from it, and women who have suffered under it, at the hands of men. The best way to support the feminist movement